Hello. Hi, I'm Clara Pablo.
And I'm Tamara B. Rodriguez.
We're coming to you live from the Baptist Health Newsroom.
Welcome.
What are we talking about today?
We're talking about feeling beautiful during and after cancer. So before we dive in, we're going to remind everybody to send in your questions, and Clara and I will answer to the best of our abilities.
Yes, we will. You want to start? I think we should start with our stories.
Yes.
You want to start with yours?
Sure. So 5 years ago, this October actually, I was diagnosed with breast cancer. And it was probably the most shocking day of my life, and I remember it well, I immediately started talking to the doctors to get first opinions, second opinions, third opinions, to figure out what I was going to do. And finally, everybody had the same opinion, which was great. And my treatment was going to be a double mastectomy, and it was supposed to end there. Mm-hmm. After the double mastectomy, they tested the mass that they removed, and they saw that it was very aggressive and had a high chance of recurrence.
You had an Oncotype.
Right, the Oncotype test. And then they said, you know what, you have to do chemo. And that was tough too, because I thought that the mastectomy was going to be done.
Yeah.
So then I had 6 months of chemo. And after that, they said, you know what, it's best if we also do a full hysterectomy. So I also had a full hysterectomy.
Were you a mom by then?
Yes, I was a mom. I was a mom when I was diagnosed, and I had my two girls. One was 5 and the other was 6. Super challenging.
Yeah.
But, I think they probably are the reason that I fought really hard, because I had to be strong for them, because they knew mommy was sick. So I needed to be strong. So they helped me a whole lot to stay focused. So yeah, that's my story.
Hearing other people's stories really just brings you back to
that time.
Own, you know? I was diagnosed 2 years ago.
2 years ago. Where were you?
August 18th, 2017. I was 36 years old. No kids. I was traveling the world, working a lot, and I got the news that I had breast cancer. I felt a lump, and I got it checked out, and 2 days later I was diagnosed with IDC, invasive ductal carcinoma. At 36, living your life and not married, and you don't think you're gonna have cancer at 36. Yeah. You're gonna be thinking you're planning your life, not how to save your life.
Right.
So it was tough. My treatment was had a lumpectomy with reconstruction. My Oncotype was low, so that's good. I didn't need chemo. But I am on tamoxifen for 5, they say 10. My doctor says 5, I have a feeling it's going to say 10 when I get the 5-year mark.
Right.
And I'm in treatment for every 28 days. I have to go to MCI to get an implant injected on my ovaries. So I didn't have a hysterectomy, but I kind of do.
So
right now I'm in treatment. Yeah, I'm in treatment for 5 years. Just pictures of me at treatment. So I'm in treatment for 5 years, and it's to stop my period and my menstruation, because my tumor was hormonal.
Right.
So any hormones that my body creates can bring it back. So we're trying for it not to come back. So I'm in, every 28 days I'm at MCI. I just came from there. I had blood work done.
You're such a warrior. You look so good.
Thank you.
You're always so positive.
Glam squad behind me to make me look this good.
But your energy is awesome, and I'm so grateful to know you.
I'm grateful to know you.
Because
you kidding?
We're really trying to use our voice to help people. And I think that women that have been diagnosed with cancer, a lot of them are suffering in silence.
Yeah.
And they don't talk about, what they're going through, the physical pain that they might be going through, the mental issues that they might be going through. What are some of the physical things that you probably had heard of, but you didn't realize that it was going to affect you as much as it did?
I mean, just for example, like I said, I wasn't, at least, you were married and you have your family,
right.
and that's amazing. But to be, having breast cancer when you're not married and you don't have kids, and you think about how is my partner who I'm with at the moment or my future partner going to think about me when he sees me and my body and my scars.
Right.
You know, I'm proud of my scars, but it's also a little bit, I'm ashamed of them a little bit because they're not pretty, you know, and you know, the scars underneath the you know, for the glands, they're there. And, you know, I did radiation and my breasts are still burnt, and I finished radiation a year and a half ago, you know, so it's a lot of the physical aspect of it makes you feel a little bit, not ashamed, but it makes you feel a little bit self-conscious, you know?
Definitely. It's interesting that you use the word ashamed, because that was a feeling that I had in the beginning, and I couldn't explain why I had that feeling. I felt embarrassment.
Did you feel, and I talked about this with somebody earlier today, did you feel like you let your, like you were a little bit letting people down when you got sick?
100%.
Why do we feel that way?
I have no idea. 100%. I sent a letter to my family and my friends about 2 weeks later. I hadn't spoken to anybody. I didn't want to talk to anybody. But then I said, you know what? People need to know.
Yeah.
So I sent a letter, and the first thing I said is, I'm so sorry.
I felt the same way.
And I don't know why it is, you know? And maybe it's, as women, we always have that feeling where we have to be strong and we have to fight, and we can't let anybody down.
I felt like I did something wrong, and I did something to let this happen to me, and I felt like I was telling my family down.
Right.
Every time I talk about my family, I can't. Telling them my story and telling them what was going on, to me, was the hardest thing. Telling my little sisters, you know, telling my parents, that to me was just the hardest thing I ever had to do, because I felt like I was letting them down somehow.
And you didn't have any family history?
I had 2 aunts that had breast cancer, and but you know, crazy enough, my BRCA gene came back negative.
Mine did too. I had no family history, negative tests, super healthy, no indication that this was coming.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
We were both under 40.
Yeah.
And I think that, yes, I was married with kids, but the feeling of being embarrassed and ashamed and self-conscious, and even my body image, like it was so hard for me to look at myself in the mirror after my surgery.
Yes.
I don't know, did you ever feel that you just didn't want to look at yourself?
Yeah. I mean, I just felt like, again, my scars. Yeah. I mean, they've gotten better with time. And it's weird because the breast that had radiation, the scars are diminished a lot more than to the left one that didn't have radiation. But I just seemed like you could see the scars, and I just felt, you know, at the moment, I just felt damaged.
For sure.
You know?
I have lots of scars too, and I just wish, one thing I wish that I had done differently, I have the scars across. I wish I had done them under. You know, because maybe that would have that would make me feel a little bit less self-conscious.
Yeah, of course.
You know?
Yeah.
And again, I think if women talk about it, they help each other out. You know, it's like the port. I wish I had done it somewhere where if I wear a tank top, you can't see it. You know, so I think it's really important that we talk and that we share stories, because so many people out there can say, you know what, I felt like that. A lot of women have issues with their partners too after, to get the intimacy back. You know, I speak to a lot of women that say, you know, the lights have to be off. I can't have my partner see me, and that comes to me is it's a real issue. But then also I feel like communication with your partner is also important. 100%. You know?
It's so important to communicate, to express how you're feeling, and to have a partner that understands you. I've heard stories of women whose partners, you know, are supportive and they support you, and I've heard stories of partners who've left them.
Yeah.
But those kind of partners are the ones we don't want in our lives. So good riddance. Thanks for playing.
Yeah.
You know?
No, if your relationship is not strong, the day of your diagnosis, it's going to be a long ride.
Yeah, it really is. We're both very lucky. Our partners stuck around and they're still around. So
yes.
We thank you for putting up with us.
For sure. It's really tough, you know? Yeah. Okay, so this show is about how to feel beautiful and how to get your groove back.
Yes.
So what do you do what have you done to get your groove back?
A lot of hair and makeup. No. You know, one of the things that I did, it was before I didn't know if I had to do chemo or not. I went to my friend and she does eyebrows, and I did the microblading.
Yeah, that's awesome. I did that too, actually.
That helped a lot, because I felt, okay, you know, I'm good. I also, you know, I'm in the music industry, so I know a lot of glam people.
Right.
So I called all of them, and they all had wigs ready for me to put on, and that I feel like we all find whatever's being. I've heard of women that they like their, you know, their bandanas or the different, and obviously the different kind of wigs, or, you know, they just different type of hats and things that you play around with. I feel like it's a personal thing.
Right. Do you feel like you have to reinvent yourself after what you've gone through?
I mean, look at my pink hair.
Or do you feel like this has empowered you to just be more, to bring out your personality more, to be more open and more,
definitely,
you know, proud of your body? Or do you still?
I'm proud of my scars
struggle?
Now. No,
you know?
I feel like I'm right now. I'm going to point in my life that I'm proud of my scars, because I've met women like yourself and other women that I can relate to, and that's why you said it's so important for us to be here talking to you. Because if you just got diagnosed and you're feeling this way, you're not alone. We felt this way, and you know, and look at us now. We're finally at peace with our bodies. I can say that for you. Look at you, looking all fabulous in red. You know, and those are the kind of things that, I mean, it took a while, but I feel like you have to confront that when it happens. When you feel that way, you have to confront it, kind of marinate in it, and then just be like, move on.
Right.
And be proud of the scars that we have, and be proud of what we went through, because what we went through is what led us here today. We're alive, we're kicking.
Yes.
And you know, and we are trying to make it so that other women don't feel alone.
Yeah, no, I totally agree. And it's a whole part, it's all encompassive, right? So it's not just the physical being. For me, it was the physical, it was the mental, psychological, it was all of that.
Yeah.
You know, I lost my hair, and I had to do, you know, I had to keep it fun. So I would, you know, wear different wigs. I'd wear red wigs and blonde wigs. My eyebrows, you know, were gone. So I did the microblading as well. And, you know, I had to find ideas to keep my morale up, because there were days that, you know, people, and I don't know if this happened to people, would be like, oh my God, you look so great. And I'd feel so bad inside. I never felt as great as people thought that, you know. So I would come up with ideas to lift my morale, my spirit. You know, I would wear red, like red makes me happy, the color red.
It's beautiful on you. Red looks amazing on you.
Red makes me happy, and I think red also signifies victory, right? So one of the things that I would do is on every single chemo session, I'd wear red.
I love that.
So whether it was like red sneakers or a red dress, red shirt, red overalls, red lipstick, that was my way of feeling better about myself at that moment in time. So for me, it's been a journey of being physically content with my look, with my scars, with my, you know, whatever issues that I have. I've been wanting to be balanced mentally, to just, like you said, accept what I went through, but to take it as an opportunity to help others.
Exactly.
You know, psychologically, why did this happen to me? You know, I go back and forth. Why me? You know, is it going to come back? I don't know if you think about that.
That's every single day of my life. I think about, is it going to come back? Every single day. I get a headache, I have a brain tumor. I have a cough, I have lung cancer. I mean, every single time something happens to me, it always, that's the biggest thing on my mind. Right after I finished treatment, I even went to see a psychologist, because it was something that was consuming me. I mean, I was very, very sad inside, because I kept thinking the fear was taking over my mind, and I had to get help. And I'm glad I did, and you know, I got better. Yeah. And you know, that's the beauty of MCI, that they have every kind of doctor.
I was going to say, MCI is going to help you out.
I went to my psychologist at MCI, and she helped me a lot, and she helped me realize that I wasn't alone, that it's normal for us to feel that way. And now I think that's why I keep so busy, so that I don't think about it coming back. Exactly. You know, and I know that we're doing everything possible that I can and we'll have to do so that it doesn't come back.
Yeah. No, totally. So what would you tell a woman that is going through cancer right now, as far as how to keep their groove, or how to get their groove back, how to feel beautiful, even though they have everything that we've talked about, the psychological aspect of it? What would you say to a woman on how to stay beautiful, or how to feel beautiful?
I feel like, you know, do whatever you feel it makes you feel beautiful. If you feel like your hair pink is gonna make you feel beautiful, like me, pink hair was for me, you know? If you wanna buy the red lipstick, put on red lipstick, you know, wear do whatever you feel makes you feel pretty.
Right.
I feel like as a little girl, we all wearing heels makes us feel pretty, or wearing red lipstick, or just dressing up for example. Me, every time I would come to the hospital for treatment, which is when I was coming every day I had an outfit. Like, I didn't come to the hospital looking in scrubs. I came relaxed, obviously, but I bought like the coolest sneakers and the coolest hats, and I always tried to, like, my jackets were on, they were always on point. Like, I remember the security guard would be like, hello, you have the best clothes.
Right, because you didn't want to look like the cancer patient.
I'm not be looking sick,
right.
I'm sick, I don't have to look it.
That's right.
So I feel like that helps too.
Absolutely.
Not trying to dress up, even if you're going to the hospital, because for 9 months, I was going to the hospital pretty much every day. And when I was in radiation, it was every day for 4 weeks. So I didn't dress like I was going to the hospital. I think that helps too.
It does.
I think that's a good point.
I think it helps
you with the
lot.
red.
Yes.
Me with my sneakers and my jackets, and I put makeup on, and those are kind of things that made me feel like I wasn't going to the hospital. It made me feel like I was going to go visit my friends, which were the doctors and the nurses at MCI.
But I also think that it's really important, as we're sitting here, we're talking about how we did these things to make ourselves feel better. But I also feel like our tribe really helped us too. Like, for me,
100%.
It's not that I always wanted to wear like the red lipstick to go to chemo, or the red, sneakers. I did that too. It was because I had a tribe. I had my mom. I had my, my kids that were like, "What are you doing? Like, get up, let's go."
Oh my God. So your tribe is so important. I remember when I had my surgery, my family all showed up with t-shirts that said, my sister's t-shirt where my sister's fight is my fight. My parents were my daughter's fight is my fight. My boyfriend was my girlfriend's fight is my fight. And those type of things really make you feel, I've always said it, when you get cancer, the whole family and friends get cancer. But their reaction and their ability and their way that they treat you and the way that they make you feel is so important.
Right. And
I had my friends were the ones giving me the hats, and look at this t-shirt actually was a friend's gift. Look how cute it is. How cute it is. Monica, thank you. So your friends and your family and your tribe really is so supportive, and they make you feel beautiful. My hairdresser would do my hair every week because I couldn't lift my arms to wash my own hair. So he would come to my house every week to wash and blow dry my hair because I couldn't do it myself. My sisters were the ones washing my hair for me, and they did whatever they could to make me feel as normal as possible, and that's so important.
It's so important, and that's, I think, when I struggled in the beginning to talk to people about it, I said, you know what, I'm gonna need the help, and so I decided to, to let people know, and let my friends know, my family members know, because you can't do it alone. And I always remind people, the help is as important as the medicine, as important as a doctor. So I always encourage family members to rally around the patient,
But again, it's also very sad though that sometimes patients don't speak up, don't talk about it. One of the things that surprised me the most was when I got diagnosed, I made it very public. I made my entire journey public. And a lot of women that I've known, not in my Instagram life, but in my personal life, called me and told me that they had gone through breast cancer themselves, and none of us found out. To me, I looked at them, I'm like, how did you do this by yourself? I don't know how you did that. So it's very important to speak up, not to make, you don't have to make it public like we have, but, because not everybody needs to do that, but do confide in people that you trust, your family, your friends. If talking really does help. And it takes a village, and
so I wanted to talk about and show your fertility. I think you want to talk a little bit about that? Yeah.
So right before I did my radiation, they made me sign this paper that said you might have, your fertility might get affected. Hey, that's me. It's my family and friends. That's my tribe helping me out.
Amazing.
My sister's gonna come out soon. So right before I did my radiation, I had to sign a paper that said my fertility was going to be affected. That's when I said, wait a minute, hold up, wait a minute. And we have to be, I have to fix this. Like, I can't have this problem. So, one of the things that I was concerned about was that, okay, my tumor is hormonal. Why am I going to inject more hormones into my body? That's going to bring the cancer. Like, it's going to make it worse. After sitting with a lot of the oncologists at MCI, with a lot of them, they all reassured me that you know, it was going to be safe. I was going to be monitored. And my fertility specialist was talking to my oncologist the entire time. And together they created, you know, they worked together and they created the plan so that I was able to freeze my eggs. And I have 10 Olaf babies somewhere in a freezer.
But I love that. I love how at MSCI it's comprehensive, right? Yes. So it's like everybody comes together. It's one team. So everybody's on the same page, which I really, really think is important.
So important.
And I'm glad that you did that, right? Because then you can have Olaf babies.
I have Olaf babies. And Elsa and Anna are in a freezer.
That's really cool.
Yeah, it's really so important. And it helps so much because you don't want to be repeating your story to every doctor. So the fact that they all talk among themselves, that one keeps you on and the other, they call each other on their phone. Hey, I have Clara here.
Right.
I'm going to send her here away. You know, it's so Disney for cancer patients. That's MCI.
Yes. So if you're going to have to go through it, yes, it's not a bad place to do it, right?
Not because, a bad place to do it.
And as a matter of fact, they have awesome specials, right, for mammograms.
It's so incredible that
for uninsured patients.
For uninsured patients, well, a lot of questions. I don't know if you get them too. A lot of questions are about how mammograms are so expensive, that they don't have insurance, or they're not covered because you're not a certain age. The month of October, we just found out, they are in any outpatient center for Baptist Health, $50.
Yeah.
$50.
It's huge. It's huge.
Because it's a steal.
It is a steal. I remember the first thing my doctor said before, because I was not, I didn't fit the statistics, right? I was under 40, so I wasn't scheduled to have my mammogram. And the first thing they said is, well, insurance is not going to cover your mammogram. Yeah. So, you're going to be on your own. Yeah. So to know that, these are some options that people have is a really big deal.
It's
$50 is...
Makes you want to go get another one even though I'm not due for it again.
So now I want to talk about your advocacy work and all the stuff that you're doing because, we just talked about how we went through this journey, which has obviously defined us, has been painful for us, for our family, but we've come out on the other side. You're still thriving. You're doing awesome. I am celebrating my 5 years in a couple of weeks.
Oh my God, we need to party about that. I am dreaming about my 5-year mark.
You're gonna get there.
Understand.
You're gonna get
just
there.
I dreamed about my ring the bell party.
Yes, you're gonna get there.
I want to go to your 5-year mark party.
Okay, we're gonna.
If you weren't having one, you're having one now. It's a milestone. That's a celebration.
It is. I'm very, very grateful.
Yes.
So I think we've used our voice to turn it around and to raise awareness, obviously, on the importance of early detection. Correct. Because I can tell you for sure that I probably wouldn't be here if it wasn't for early detection
100%.
and me taking control and figure out what was happening. Yeah. So what are you doing now that you're out of the woods?
Yeah.
Mostly, basically. What are you doing?
So I created a campaign for Latina women. So breast cancer is the #1 cause of death in Latinas under 40. Why? Because we don't talk about it enough. So I created a campaign called Te Toca Tocarte para que no te toque. So basically, it's a campaign, there it is. It's every month, the first of the month, I post a picture with my hand over my breast, and I remind women to check themselves every single month. Because breast cancer awareness is not just in October.
For sure.
It is every single month, because every single month we are at risk. Every day we are at risk. So it's a campaign that we just remind women that, to check themselves, and then they tag other women and other women and other women. So it's been kind of like viral, and it's been great. And we created a community on social media specifically for Latina women, because there's a lot of stuff out there for American women, but for Latinas, we don't have enough stuff out there. So I've created a community where if you just get diagnosed, with facts, education. I think that education is something that's really, really missing in our community. So we're trying to educate, and we're trying to remind women, and so that they don't have to go through what we've gone through,
right?
And
at least not alone.
Not alone, exactly.
Right.
And at least not, like one of the things that I saw the other day that really shook me is women are, what's scarier than finding a lump is not knowing you have one. That's scarier, because not knowing you have one, but you can't do anything about it. So us and taking control of our bodies and checking ourselves, we are taking control of our health at the same time. Because if we find one, even if you're not 40, you can call your doctor and say, hey, like I did, hey, I found a lump, I need a mammogram, I need an ultrasound, and then they do it. And it's because you did it yourself.
That's awesome.
Yeah,
I'm really proud of you.
I'm proud of you.
That's awesome. And so I've been doing a lot of advocacy work as well, doing a lot of
I know, I follow everything you do.
health and wellness, educating
Yeah.
women about the importance of taking control of your life and eating healthy and getting checked up and early detection. I also wrote 2 children's books because my kids, you know, when I was diagnosed, I didn't know how to talk to them. They were 5 and 6, and it's like, where do you find the resources to talk to children about this stuff? How do you tell
children
them?
don't understand?
Right. And how do you define cancer? Like, I didn't know how to explain cancer to myself, you know? It's like, what do
They
you...
don't know children.
Exactly. So that's been my project. Hair to the Queen and Teo the Great.
I love that. That's so amazing.
Yeah.
Where can you find them?
On Amazon and Books and Barnes and Noble. So that's been my way of giving back, you know, giving tools to family to talk about this and to eliminate the stigma that's been around for so long.
That's beautiful.
Yeah.
It really is.
All right, I think we did it. You think we did it?
I think are we good?
We're good.
Yeah.
We'll have
go
to do round 2.
Give me 5.
We'll do round 2 next time.
Nice.
So I think at the bottom you'll see the handles to follow us on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, LinkedIn, where you can find all the important health news and events at Baptist.
Yes.
So I'm Tamara B. Rodriguez.
And I'm Clara Pablo.
Thanks for joining us, and
Thanks
see you
for
next
watching.
time.